you wild wizards out there. Your two favorite dwarves are back here for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers, and that's my good mate over there with a beautiful ring.
And I'm Gollum.
Two wild rascals are back from Middle Earth, diving into the second season of the Rings of Power that hit Amazon not too long ago. Me and him just ended up watching this. We're back tonight to review the second season of Lord of the Rings of Power.
At this moment, the great tale of our age is being written.
You think it was only you who put yourself in my power? Galadriel.
And that's right. This is, I think, one of the most expensive shows ever made. And you can tell just from the production set design of the show, the scope, everything is just absolutely beautiful. You can tell they put a lot of time into making this show and crafting this out because it's so epic in proportions. It's massive. It feels like you're watching a movie and just incredible diving back into this world, into Middle Earth in season two.
Yeah, incredible visual effects, incredible cinematography, costumes, sound design, effects, you name it. It's the best of the business. And yeah, they threw hundreds of millions of dollars at this show. So it's not a surprise that it's going to be epic in scope. And the second season, we are continuing on the story from the first season, where at the end it was revealed, Sauron is there. And this season very much follows Sauron as he is trying to claim the rings for himself and take power and basically rule Middle Earth. And it's going to be up to Galadriel, Elrond, and Arondir and all of the elf to come together and to be able to stop him. But Sauron doesn't make himself clear to everybody. He doesn't come and announce himself. He blends in. He does a good job of stating his case and making it look like he's one of the good guys in the first half of the season. So he doesn't just come out as the villain in this. He like slowly reveals himself throughout the series. And also, we shouldn't forget the stranger, who we know who it's going to be. Obviously, the same characteristics: long hair, epic beard. He just needs his staff. We know who it's going to be by the end. We're talking about David Wayman, and of course, he's going to be Gandalf the Grey. That's a story that unfolds over this second season. And this second season, what I was really impressed with was especially in the second half, once the action ramped up and they had that huge battle kicking off, like it never let up off the gas pedal once the action kicked in.
Yeah, the second half was just balls to the wall action and awesome. Much like a movie, it just like grabbed me and I couldn't stop watching it. That's why we watched this in a few days. Just like really great storytelling and just the way they went about those fight scenes. There's a lot on the line, and then bringing back the orcs, we're familiar with those from, of course, the other movies, but they're creepy as hell, scary. I love how the practical effects of making these creatures, they're all going against the elves. The elves are trying to protect the rings, and Sauron showing up and changing all different forms. Once he had like brown hair, then he looked like an elf like behind me, and just keeps changing it like a shapeshifter, and you don't know who he is, but he's just the master of manipulation and just kicking off this huge war, and you're not really sure who's going to survive.
No, you're not sure who's going to survive, and not everybody does, including one of the main characters that's up in the air until the very last episode. We don't know if we're not going to spoil anything, if they make it or not until the very end. So there's a lot at stake in this second season. And, this second season started off a little slow. It takes a little time to kick in. But once you see where they're going and what's at stake here, and the rings being formed and everything, and the alliances that are taking shape, everything comes together about mid-season, and that back half of episodes are just breathtaking and spectacular. It's some of the action, like you had mentioned, we'd been hoping for on Game of Thrones. It definitely filled in what was missing there. That's what I felt like. You had the epic storytelling, but you also had those awesome battle scenes, the orcs, all the crazy sword fighting, Just a lot of destruction, and following these characters and getting to know them better this season. Galadriel, Arendir, everybody has their purpose too in the second season. And I can't wait to see where this series goes. It just keeps getting better. From the first to the second, there's a noticeable jump in quality and storytelling and action. And now where things end up at the end of the second season with Sauron, to see the story continue, it can only get better from here. And I think Prime Video, they risked a lot putting all these hundreds of millions of dollars into the show. It was a big gamble, and it certainly paid off. It was the number one show for them for many weeks. A lot of people were binging it at the time. Unfortunately, with 31 Days of Horror for us, we didn't get to watch it right away. But this was a great binge. I know both of us, that's how we consumed it. It was a great binge, and I definitely had a wonderful time with this second season.
Same here, man. I totally forgot about it. You reminded me of it. I'm glad we binged this in November. Had a really great time with this. Everything is visually stimulating. Great characters. I love Charlie Vickers. He's an incredible bad guy. First time I think I've seen this actor playing Sauron, and really bridging that gap, to The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. This is a prequel, takes place before those, but it really does, introducing some familiar faces, characters we've seen in the other movies and books, of course. As you said, Gandalf with the staff, and a bunch of really great characters. I loved Elrond, Robert Aramayo. I love his character. He had a huge purpose in this, more of a soldier, a leader this season. Of course, Galadriel, Morfydd Clark was incredible. Really great battle scene against Sauron, and just, all the characters that you named, just all banding together to take out this bad guy, gather these rings, be the Lord of the Rings, and building up to that. And I just loved the final few episodes. I was really invested, and I want a few more seasons of this for sure. Had a great time with it. Great binge. Check it out if you've not seen it out there. So that being said, I'm going to give Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2, currently streaming on Prime Video. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Charlie Vickers hair pieces.
He was great. You're right. He was the MVP for me for sure. Also worth mentioning, Nori Brandyfoot and Poppy Proudfellow. They're really close with the stranger Gandalf, of course, and their story is getting bigger as the season goes on too. The second season, they didn't have a lot to do, but it feels like they're going to have a big role, along with Gandalf as the series goes on. And as you remember, of course, with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the hobbits, play a huge role in this universe. So I expect their characters to be more involved moving forward. I appreciate both of those young actresses' work here. Daniel Wayman's great as a stranger. Ismael Cruz Cordova, Arendir, he's a badass, with that bow and arrow. I love when he springs in action. He's very physical too, doing flips and stuff. And the action's just nonstop in this. I had a great time with it too. I'm going to give Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 2, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Hobbit hair pieces.
Adar was really incredible. We forgot to bring up one of the elves that was manipulated by Sauron or crafting the rings.
Celebrimbor or something like that.
Yeah, Celebrimbor or something like that. But yeah, got manipulated.
He was good.
Really incredible this season. I thought he was one of the standouts from the elves side. The elves trying to protect these, and getting the dwarves, bringing them in. There's a whole cool few scenes with them and the dad. Like, it was super awesome. I think it was in the last episode where having to do with the dwarves and the king and stuff like that. So badass, but really great fantasy show compared to House of the Dragon. I love this way more. I thought House of the Dragon was really slow this past season, not as exciting, but they really kicked it up with this show. I want to hear from all you wild wizards out there. What did you like about Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power Season 2? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild warlocks on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
And when Season 3 is finally announced and we get that confirmation, that'll be great. I mean, it's all but it's going to happen for sure. Just a matter of when. So we'll be back to review the third season for sure. We'll be watching that right away. Have a feeling, with how much we enjoyed this second season. yeah, we'll be paying attention more. Probably, hopefully, if we do wait for the whole season to air, we'll be binging it shortly thereafter the last episode. So we look forward to that. Thank you guys for joining us in Middle Earth tonight. We'll be back for the next Cinephellas TV review very soon. So until then, I'm the Hobbit, Henry Hill.
And I'm Uncle Sauron signing out until the next TV review for Cinefellas. Cheers!
Cheers.